Okay, good evening. My name is Kira Zimmerman. I'm going to be talking about the Module 3 lab. So in this particular lab, forgive me as I'm looking at my notes, we were decomposing acetylsalicylic acid into salicylic acid and acetic acid by using an acid catalyzed pathway, and we were able to monitor that reaction with TLC plate to kind of see the different reactions through 4 spots and make sure that the reactions we wanted to were actually occurring. Okay. All right, so as far as working through the experiment, we started with aspirin, we crushed it up, and created, using isopropyl alcohol and water, purified it into acetylsalicylic acid, because the pills have binders and other things that make them into a pill, and all we wanted was the acetylsalicylic acid. So we purified that out using isopropyl alcohol and water crystallization. From there, we mixed it with pH down, which helped to remove the acetic acid. We also heated it up. So we took that purified version and then added the pH down, heated it up. We knew the acetic acid was coming off as a gas because it smelled like vinegar. So we then converted that to pure salicylic acid crystals. So from there, we took those crystals and dissolved them in isopropyl alcohol in order to dissolve them, and then use that as one of our spots. And then we also had some salicylic acid crystals that came with the kit that were standard, so that we could tell whether we'd done it right, or whether I'd done it right or not. So we ended up with 4 spots in the TLC plate. First one was the acetylsalicylic acid, the crushed aspirin solution. Then we had a spot that was almost salicylic acid. It was kind of in process of being purified, and with the acetic acid was coming off. The third spot was a salicylic acid crystal solution that was experimental, and then the fourth spot was a standard salicylic crystal solution, kind of as a test, or as to see, whether the results came out correctly. In looking at my table, I can see that the RF values for spot 1 and 2 are similar, and spot 3 and 4 are similar also, those 2 pairs. So I'll talk about it as I go through my TLC plate. So clearly this is not the actual TLC plate, it's a picture, and it's not a very good picture either, but I imagine looking at a smaller TLC plate it would be difficult, and I kind of outlined the major stuff in black and kind of talked through it. So you can see one of the spots pretty well, but there are 4 spots here. And if you look at my report, there's a picture that's a much better picture than this of the 4 spots you can see. So then here's the origin line, top is the solvent line, and I kind of outlined the shapes, the color results that kind of happen there. So you're looking at spots 1, 2, 3, and 4 across this way. As you can see, 1 and 2 are very similar RF values. Spots 3 and 4 are similar values. I calculated the RF value by using the distance moved by the pigment over the distance between the pigment origin and the solvent front. So the first number is from the center of the origin spot here, and then it's all the way up to the pigment, the distance to the pigment, and then that would be divided by the distance of the pigment origin, all the way up to the solvent front here, a solvent line. And we use that distance, that becomes the RF value. So 1 and 2 are similar, 3 and 4 are similar. We hoped that 3 and 4 would be similar because 3 is the experimental salicylic acid and the 4 is the standard. So if it's similar, that means I did something right, because that means that's what I expected it to be. 1 and 2 I also expected to be relatively similar, since the first one is acetylsalicylic acid, and you should also, I also expected it, since it's true that there was a reaction going on with acetic acid being removed, but it was still early on in the reaction, so that can kind of be expected. Excuse me, my notes are there. Okay. I will say, after having completed the TLC plate, I'd kind of wished that I waited longer, because you can see that maybe if I had left a little time, I mean the solvent front was almost, you know, to the top, but I could probably have waited just a little bit longer, and then maybe had gotten a clearer delineation and differences between them. So it would have been nice if I'd waited a little bit longer, but you know, I was still able to get some results from this, and also see a difference in my results there. So essentially figured out that could see the differences in purifying and breaking apart the the salicylic acid and the acetic acid, and was able to test and confirm the differences that had, you know, broken them apart using the TLC reaction. So that was great. But yeah, so that's hopefully I didn't forget anything. This is module 3 lab. Thank you.